All right, welcome to what we are going to call episode 37 now of the Athletic Philosopher podcast. Look at us go, just creeping up day by day, show by show, number by number. We're all going to get there together, friends. I am your host, Jordan Goldstein, former university professor in sport history, philosophy, sociology, maybe a teensy weensy bit of psychology. Decided the university was not an appropriate place for me. The university also decided I was not appropriate for them in a bunch of different ways. So now we take those life lessons that I was teaching to the young kids in sports, and we are applying them to any person that wants to unleash the potential, the true potential of themselves, utilizing the connection of body, mind, and spirit. And I help people with fitness, with life coaching, a unique blend of both. I also serve as this side, as the travel professor for travel training, the world's most fantastic endurance training team for the everyday exceptional athlete that wants to dive headfirst into holistic development of body, mind, and spirit, where we utilize the truth of the training to bring out that best version of ourselves in all the other domains of life. And I have a really exciting episode for everybody today, thinking about the seriousness of competition. And I'm just foreshadowing what I think I'm going to call this episode. So if it's not exactly this, please forgive me, friends. We do iron out some details in the editing process, but I am thinking and meditating about this idea of serious competition. So we're going to go with the on serious competition title. And this idea has been floating around a little bit in my mind ever since we got a really intriguing message from the head coach of our team, Ryan Dreyer, also the founder of Tribal Training. When he put out, I think this was on social media. This wasn't in our group chat. This was on social media. It was a screenshot of a text from an anonymous athlete. And the text said something like, I can't get this out of my mind, and I just have to say it. I want to qualify for the 2026 World Championships in the Ironman 70.3 race. And there was a bit of a fun thing that coach did, asking us which athlete do we think sent in that text, like which athlete is now laser focused on performance, right? Performance above all when it comes to the training. And I am somebody that has talked a lot about the importance of play and the importance of competition, but I don't think that I've dove really deep into this idea of serious competition. And so I want to kind of swirl around this idea of serious competition and what it means when it comes to some of the other ideas that I have put out here on my podcast and also over on my Substack. If you're not reading the Substack, team, I would appreciate it, number one. But number two, it's if you enjoy listening, you'll enjoy reading too, because I'm talking about similar things, sometimes different stories. So yeah, head on over to Substack. Find me over there, JB Goldstein, the Athletic Philosopher Substack, and we'll be a team. Now, I'm going to start off as I do with a lot of these podcasts, especially the solo podcasts where I have kind of a broad idea. I want to bring you completely behind the curtains and let you know what I'm thinking about before I even start. Like, I don't have some speech. I don't even have like some quotes or some notes. We're simply just going to be doing this from feel and from memory. But I did make a few notes on my Google Doc here, so I want to share with you first the notes, and then we're going to spiral around, go on a little bit of an adventure when it comes to ideas and concepts. We'll maybe come back to the start. Maybe we'll stop somewhere else, but we'll always end off with some takeaways and some applications, things that you can actively be doing to utilize sports to live that best life, right? That's the whole point of the podcast. That's the whole point of the philosophy, a philosophy that can't be lived for better results in the world by individuals is not a philosophy that anybody should follow. And in fact, we should almost just throw it in the trash. Can't throw it in the trash. We still have to be able to observe it, talk about it, and be able to point out why it's bad. So don't throw it in the trash. Just don't use it in your life. Okay, here are the notes. Serious competition. That's what I got as the title. And serious is in all caps. Play is and creates order. Order is in all caps. Passion is linked to the spirit. I'm not going to read the typo there. Passion is linked to the spirit. Creation is the action of the open heart. And this is all caps, so I'm going to scream it. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth. But sports hurt. Serious competition is an avenue straight towards self-knowledge. Okay, so these are the thoughts that are swirling. These are the notes that I've put down. Play is and creates order. Passion is linked to the spirit. Creation is the action of the open heart. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth, but sports hurt. Serious competition is an avenue straight towards self-knowledge. Okay, let's start off with this first idea. Play is and creates order. I am the guy who says go and play. Go have fun. Forget about the numbers. Forget about the performance metrics. Heck, forget even about signing up for a race or going into a competition. The very first thing, the primary, the foundation, where it all comes from when it comes to fitness, exercise, playing sports, being physically active, especially as an adult, we must locate that in play. Play is simply the absence of external motivation. We can think about play in a whole bunch of different ways, but for what I want to talk about today, play is simply something we do because we want to do it. We have an internal motivation. We want to do it just because. Nobody is telling us to do it. Nobody is going to give us a reward for when we do it. It's just something that through the action we gain the satisfaction. Ooh, that's a good one. Through the action we gain the satisfaction. So when we engage in this type of an activity, that's where order comes out. This is the whole idea of inbounds versus out of bounds. In play, out of play. If I'm playing a game with somebody, we have to agree on the rules so that we can actually enjoy the activity. Sports are the perfect arena to see this, right? Basketball doesn't work if we have 10 people on the court, 9 people decide, yeah, we're all going to dribble the ball, and one person says, I ain't going to play like that. I'm going to carry the ball however which way I want to. The game breaks down, and now nobody can play basketball. It's the same thing with soccer, right? If we're on a giant pitch and we got 22, right, 11 on a side, and we're going to remove the goalies from this analogy, right? If, save the goalies, so now we're talking 20, right? If 19 people on the pitch decide we're all going to use our feet, no one's going to handle the ball, one person decides, yeah, I'm not going to play like that, and they pick up the ball and they start running, and they actually start going on wherever they want on the pitch, like inside the touchline, outside the touchline, running out of bounds, doing whatever they want. Yeah, the game breaks down. You cannot play. You can't play anymore, right? So play is and creates order. It's not necessarily my own idea. I'm building off of scholars, in particular people like Huizinga, who wrote this incredible book, Homo Ludens, which sort of talks of which Homo Ludens is man at play, which effectively argues that civilization emerges out of play. And when we sort of map this onto some ideas in evolutionary biology, especially like signaling, right? How a lot of our behaviors are not really authentic to ourselves, but are more about posturing, signaling, and positioning ourselves relative to the group. We can see how playing along in sort of like the game of society or the game of civilization is a very important way to understand our social relationships and the way we interact with and engage with the external world that's outside of us. So play is this deeply important element in our lives that brings a kind of organization. one of the things I talk about oftentimes, especially with people who are maybe new into an adult athletic journey. So a lot of the people that I work with initially, like in a one-on-one sense, people who have maybe athletic past, but have let that slip for a decade, 2 decades. They need to reestablish like physical health. And one of the ways we get over all the adversity that people in this situation generally face is to move directly into the play space, right? Like, let's just take pressure off of the need to lose weight, to exercise 3-4 times a week. Like, let's just start moving in ways we enjoy, right? And once we actually just start playing around, the order starts to emerge. And this looks like a hierarchy of values, right? So if I'm somebody, let's say, who has neglected my physical health for the past 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden, let's just imagine let's just go with basketball. You love to play basketball. You are a varsity athlete. Maybe you even got to play a little bit in college. Hey, that would be pretty cool. But after, you hung up your sneakers for the very last time, in the stall, in the dressing room, in the locker room there, you ain't been back on the court. Like, maybe you shoot the ball around every once in a while, but there's no sense of me like actively training anymore, actively competing. I'm not playing on a team. Maybe it's a rec league, maybe it's pickup, but I honestly don't even really care if I win or lose or if I perform well. It's mostly just to hang around with the guys, maybe. Who knows, right? But now, if I tell you, let's say I'm your coach, hey, like, we need to get you to start moving. Like, I don't care what it looks like, but it's got to be something that's fun. And you just told me that you love basketball. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to hit start maybe on your Apple Watch or a fitness tracker, or maybe you don't even have like a smartwatch and it's just like a stopwatch. I want you to hit like start. I want you to go for 30 minutes. I want you to shoot baskets. I want you to run the court. I want you to do fancy drills. Hold on. Right? Maybe do some breaks down the court by yourself, some right-handed layups, some left-handed layups, like some reverse layups, like full court up and back, get running, shooting, getting your rebounds. Like all of these ways you can kind of find yourself bringing the intensity up in a playful situation, right? Play is and creates order, right? Now I'm getting an immediate reaction into where I need to place more attention. So if I have not been exercising for the past 15 or 20 years, for example, and I go out and I shoot hoops in this more like intense, serious fashion, I'm going to be brought into direct contact with, shoot, I ain't got no cardio. I don't have any strength, and man, I'm sucking wind. I'm dehydrated. So now something like I got to eat better, right? So now the junk food that you used to eat, which was so enticing, it's not looking as good anymore because you want more energy, right? You want to start to lose weight so that you can jump a little bit more easily on your jump shot or on your layup, or you want to be able to go a few times up and down the court without having to whoo-wee, like keel over and suck back wind. You'd rather just keep in flow because what you were doing was having fun. And the fun orients you to a hierarchy of values of things that are more important to the better version of you, and now less important, the things that were contributing to the worst version or a worse version of yourself. Okay? And why is fun such a powerful signal? It has to do with point number 2. Passion is linked to the spirit. When I am interested in something, when I am naturally directed towards some kind of an activity, this is a deep internal signal of knowing, right? Like, I'm not responsible for the things I'm interested in. Certainly my environment shapes me, the culture, the time, the family that I was born to. All of these things have an important factor, but we all know, right? Just because you were born in a place, just because your parents liked something, right? Just because your culture says that this thing is good, it doesn't always resonate with what's inside of you. And in fact, A lot of individuality is figuring out, how do I get away from those expectations? How do I get away from those strictures? What are the things that I actually care about if I was to strip away all of the social expectations and social pressures that are telling me this is something that you should be interested in? This is something you should be involved in. This is something that you should be intentional about. The Spirit doesn't care about that. The Spirit just wants to let free. It says, I have a burning desire, a burning passion, a burning enthusiasm and interest in this thing. So let's go back to basketball, buddy. You just love basketball. Like, you love watching it. You love playing it. You love talking about it. You love teaching it. You love all the things about it. Right? And you would do those things without any money, without any external reward, without social pressure, without kudos and congratulations. You simply want to do it because you enjoy it. And passion is also related to something like skill and talent and doing things well. Like, if I'm passionate about basketball, I'm not interested in going to the free throw and shooting these ugly brick shots that are air balls that clang off the backboard that have no chance of going in. And if I just show up every day and I chuck balls at the backboard and they're ugly, they're making bad sounds, they don't feel good coming off my fingers, I don't even hear the swoosh of that beauty swish. There's no passion involved in that. This is just a mechanistic activity. Passion requires achievement. Passion requires skill attainment. Passion requires talent and the expression of talent to get better, to make the thing that you're doing more beautiful. To make the thing that you're doing more beautiful. Imagine an artist, like somebody who paints, for example, saying, I'm really passionate about art. Like, it consumes me. I love creating it. And then you go to their studio and you can't tell the difference between their passionate art and what a toddler does with their crayons. And it's not a slight at abstract art or modern art, although modern art's kind of a joke. It's not beautiful, that's why it's a joke. But it's more about, like, well, you say you're passionate, but this doesn't look like you've acquired any skill. This doesn't look like you've disciplined yourself to try to improve in the way that you can paint. It just looks like you're acting without reason, like you're acting without an aim, you're acting without a target. Passion is linked to the Spirit, and the Spirit demands perfection. It's the part of me that says, yeah, I understand it's pragmatic if I was to quit, or if I was to just hand this in right now and it's an 85%, but I want 100. I want it to be perfect. Like, I demand it to be perfect, right? Passion forces me to get better. Passion forces me to get better and to want to showcase what I've been doing, the hard work that I've been disciplining myself to. I want to be able to show that to other people, not so that I can necessarily receive their adulation, right? Remember, playing is just internal, right? So I'm not making something beautiful in order to show other people that I can make something beautiful. I have to be able to show off something beautiful to other people as an expression of myself. I cannot keep it secret. I cannot write a symphony as a composer and never have musicians play it for an audience. Passion requires bravery and courage to show things off because I desire to share the beauty. I desire to share the thing that is meaningful. I desire to share the thing that I have taken so much intentional time and energy to create in the world because I love it. And hopefully, I can show a window of truth to somebody that will inspire them to go and create their own beautiful thing based on their own passion. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere here. Now we are starting to get somewhere. Play is and creates order, check. Passion is linked to the Spirit, check. Creation is the action of the open heart. Oh, let's go. Let's go. I have a whole episode on the open heart, and it's called Show Me Your Heart's Dance. I think it's episode 28. The open heart is the way. The open heart is the way towards truth. This is psychologically, philosophically, theologically, maybe like biologically, like physio. Like this is the key. It's that open heart, right? The open heart is the one that is acting on love and passion and internal desire and a quest for the truth. Ultimately is where the open heart leads us. The open heart says the truth must live, and it must live here, and I must feel it, I must experience it, and I cannot shield or shy away from it. So how is creation the action of the open heart? Well, creation, that's the divine act, right? That's the spiritual kind of fountain where we all come from, is creation. And you don't necessarily have to be a creationist to understand that creating is one of the beautiful elements of humanity that is specifically endowed upon us. The animals don't create. I mean, they do as sort of a base function of their survival, but they don't create for the sake of creating, not in the same way that humans do. Like, there's intimations of it. There's intimations of animals singing, for example. There's intimations of animals playing. In fact, all animals play. I mean, play is and creates order. So there's an animal kingdom with rules and structures, and the play delineates those structures as well in the animal world. But clearly the animals don't create like humans create, right? And when we are creating something based out of the open heart, it is passion. It's passion that's driving that. It's love that's expressing itself, right? And when I start to act out of the open heart, right, what I am signaling is that I am willing to receive all of the consequences. I am willing to let the truth enter in, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent. It doesn't matter. I need the truth. I need it to be inside. I need to feel it. And then I need to be able to express it authentically and genuinely. So I need to be able to create. Creating is an element of play. Play is driven by passion. Okay, then. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth. When I really care, like when I really, really care, that is a mirror back to me about what I value, where my energy goes, what my intentions are, and how I value things. And how I value things, right? Ranking one thing as more important than another thing. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth, right? I care deeply about the education that my kids get, right? So it's a signal of truth towards what I value most, which is family, okay? So it's a pretty simple connection there. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth. Okay, let's go back to Basketball Man. So Basketball Man, 15 years, overweight, neglecting his health, just starts, like, I've tried to get back in the gym. I tried the 3-day a week. I downloaded the fad programs, did the diets. Like, none of that stuff worked for me. I was off those programs within weeks. But that 30 minutes of me going hard again in basketball to whatever ability I can at that moment, that has sparked something inside of me. Like, that has absolutely reignited a kind of passion. And now I'm starting to care deeply about improving, right? I want to start creating experiences. I want to start creating energy. I want to start creating values within this play space where I am pushing myself beyond limits that I thought I was hemmed in by. Mainly, I can't really play the way I used to because of the adult world, because my knees, because whatever weak cope excuse is filtered into your brain and has made it easy to coast and settle when it comes to your potential, your best version of yourself, that's starting to melt away because the love and the desire and the passion is now starting to overtake it, right? This is that idea of play is and creates order, creating the hierarchy of values, reordering in real time what you think is important and valuable, because now you're bringing your spirit and you're opening up that closed heart. You're opening it up to creation, that with your body, you can start to create things, right? This is why I talk about sport as an artistic expression, as an expression of self, as a truthful expression of your inner being. And you all feel it. I feel it. I know exactly the feeling. It's what's unlocked and unleashed in me when I'm out running on the trails. And I didn't grow up a trail runner, right? I grew up playing hockey and soccer as the sports that lit me up on the inside. I was really good at soccer, but I really loved playing hockey. But you know what else I've always loved? Being lost in the forest, adventuring, running around. So when I went out and did a trail run for the very first time in my life, I was instantly hooked. It was this instant click moment. Oh, I love this. Oh, I want to be doing more of this. Oh, I need to be doing more of this. And that need was driven by passion and love, and it disciplined me to do things that I was not able to discipline myself to do for years and years and years, namely consistent exercise, strength and mobility training. I was relatively good with nutrition and diet, but even then, there's always ways to improve and clean yourself up, especially when it comes to hydration and things like that. And now I'm starting to care. Like, I'm starting to care deeply, deeply, deeply about something. That I want to do this activity and I want to do better at it. Like, I demand to do better. Okay. So, like, this covers, I think, a really important foundation when it comes to, like locate your fitness with play. Like, think about your fitness as a spiritual practice, right? Of willpower and of interest, of passion, of curiosity and imagination. Great. We're all on the same page. If not, reach out, we can talk. But I think that's pretty good. Now, what about this idea of serious competition? And isn't this kind of a contradiction to everything I've legitimately just been saying? Like, serious competition. I care about the external result. Like, the numbers are the thing that matters the most to me. If I'm in a race, like, I got to go faster than the people that are around me, and I certainly have to go faster than the last time I tried this race. Like, if I'm weightlifting, if I'm powerlifting or in strongman, right? I got to get to the podium. I got to be second. I got to be first. I need to PR on this particular farmer's carry, right? Like, now the performance is the thing. The external, the contest. The contest is now the thing that is taking precedence, and it's not so much. Seemingly, it's not so much about me just wanting to do my best. Oh, wait, maybe it is. It's not so easy, is it? Right? Because if I am demanding and desiring to do my best in anything, and as I already mentioned, part of creation is the sharing. Like, you don't just get to create and then hoard it for yourself and say, I created something good. Like, you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's good. You don't know if it's bad. It's got to be released. Anything that's created from the heart's got to be released to the world as art. And then once, man, I've got some bangers today. And once it's released, you don't own it anymore. Like, you don't own that anymore. You write a song and you publish it out on the internet. Somebody can splice it. Somebody can remix it. Someone can do whatever they want. It's not even yours. They can even say, oh, the lyrics, they mean this. And you say, no, the lyrics mean that. And they don't anymore. That person heard it. That's what they heard. That's what's animating them to move. So that's what's real. That's what's real about the art. Like, when we release the creativity, it's no longer ours. And this is starting to get into the connection between, like, serious competition, self-knowledge, creation, passion, determination, and most importantly, the truth. The truth. So here is the stark, brutal honesty of sports. It hurts. Sports hurt. They're physically demanding. Like, obviously, we sweat, we grind, right? Our muscles are sore and achy. We open ourselves up to physical injury all the time, just in terms of training, but certainly in competition. Like a competition that I care about competing well in, the body is about to get broke. The body's about to get beat up. The body is about to go through it. Common misconception: competitive sports are for health. Wrong. Fit people play competitive sports, but it's not for physical health. Like elite athletes destroy themselves. They destroy their bodies. They trade away their vitality in order to gain results. And in the end, right, when most pro athletes retire, they're hobbled. They are dealing with lifelong ailments. Just go down the list. Whatever sport it is that you love, think about what an athlete looks like when they retire. They're likely not healthier than when they got into the sport, okay? They've got years of wear and tear and accumulated damage, right? So we're trading away health for performance when it comes to serious competition. So sports physically hurt, but even more so when we're thinking about the psychology and the spirituality of sport. I lay myself open for absolute brutality when I say I really care about this event. Like if we're doing a running race and I really care about beating you right next to me and we run the race and you beat me, I might not have been physically injured in the race, but man, did I ever just take a beating. My ego just got lit up. My ego just got pounded down. I thought I was better. There is no way that I can, lie to myself is the only option. The only option I have is to lie to myself at this point. There's nothing else I can do. I can make up excuses. I can cope and say, well, this is the reason why, or that's the reason why, or maybe on another day, or whatever. Like everybody knows the copium is strong. Right? But the truth is, you just weren't fast enough. That guy beat you. Okay. So sports are brutally honest. Brutally honest. I said something earlier about the open heart, didn't I? That the open heart desires and demands the truth no matter what it reveals, no matter if it's harsh or soft or gentle. Doesn't matter. Like the truth is. And the open heart is the only place where we can accept the truth. Whether that's good or whether that's bad. The closed heart, the one that's like, I don't want that truth in here. I don't want to feel that. I want to be guarded against the pain of the truth. So I will do anything I can not to face it. I'll do anything I can not to see it. Yikes, that's a bad spot. So serious competition tilts me potentially away from all of these beautiful internal motivations, intentions, desires. And it might actually inhibit and scare me away. Well, again, this is a very simple equation. Now, why can't you bear the truth? Like, what does it say about you when you tell people, I want to go for this, and then somehow you don't necessarily measure up? Like, what are you really afraid of? What are all of us really afraid of? And this is one of the reasons why adults don't compete. This is one of the big time reasons adults don't seriously compete. Oh yeah, I might go into like a turkey trot and a 5K and I might joke around and I don't really care what the time is. Yeah, I might meet my buddies down at the Y and we might play a pickup game and nobody ever keeps score, right? It's not good enough. Why? Because you're not willing to subject yourself to the truth of the results. You don't care enough. And so without the care, without the love, you end up totally blocked out from the activity. You're totally blocked out from the growth. You're blocked out from the spiritual truth. You're blocked out from the mental gains. Heck, you're even blocked out from the physical vitality and dynamism that can radically reorient all the values and the principles that you hold and live through and by day. because you're not willing to subject yourself to the truth of the matter. And this is how a lot of people, especially adults, just move through their adult years, not subjecting themselves to the truth of the outcomes, but simply looking for mediated, massaged avenues of activity that they can release themselves from the outcome. And this is like very important to understand, because I'm swirling around internal and external motivations. And one thing that we must make conscious, we must make this explicit: the mind, that beautiful shortcut machine that I've talked about in many previous podcasts. Like, sidebar, the best way to think about your brain is as a central processing unit that aims and creates shortcuts in the world. And that's its function. And it's great at it. And we need it, but not in all areas and domains of my life. Like, when it comes to the meaning of my life, I don't want to cut no corners. I want the most meaningful life possible. And I don't want the brain to be short-circuiting me coming into contact with the painful truth that's going to allow me to experience the full meaning of my life and my existence. I'm not interested in mediating that down so I can just be comfortable, find the shortcut. Oftentimes, the shortcut looks like cope. It looks like excuse making. It looks like cognitive dissonance, holding one idea over here and another idea over here, and never allowing the two to meet in my brain. Otherwise, we're going to short circuit, and we're going to literally have steam coming out of our ears because our brains are exploding because they can't handle it. So, what does the brain want? The brain wants something, any activity that can convince other people that we are doing a hard thing, but internally we recognize it's like not that difficult. There's not that much adversity here. Like, it's not hard for me to want to put on running shoes and go out for a run. And when people say, we had a whole bunch of people over on the weekend, and I'm talking to a guy who owns a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. And he looks at me like, when I tell him that I go out on a Sunday just for a training run and it's a half marathon and it's 2 hours, he looks at me like, you run for 2 hours in a row? And for him, that's like, how do you even do that? That's so hard. But for me, it's like, man, I wish I could run for 3 hours. Because for me, it's not that difficult. I love to do it. Other people think it's really hard. But realistically, it's like, I want to do it. I want to go out into the forest. I want to be lost for 2 hours in the woods, running around, figuring my way out. Right? So I can convince everybody that I'm this total hard person, this badass, this guy with all the discipline in the world. But realistically, I'm just kind of doing the thing I want to do, which ain't that hard. Like, we're all really good at doing the thing that we want to do. Okay? So when adults refrain from serious competition in sports, I think that this is the pattern that's going on inside of your brain. You are tricking yourself into thinking that an easy thing is a hard thing, or that a hard thing is an easy thing. Oh, right, serious competition ain't for adults. Like, I can't risk getting injured. I don't have time to do all the serious. I don't have all the time to do the serious training. Like, I'm not getting paid for it. Like, what's the point? What's the point of putting in all of this effort and dedication and discipline and deferring gratification, right? And saying no to opportunities to go out and have fun. And then when I do the race and I come in, like 10% slower than I wanted to when I trained, I'm just going to feel bad. I'm going to feel like it was none of it was ever worth it. Like, I'm not going to be enjoying what I'm doing. So I need to kind of forget about the seriousness, and I just got to go and complete. I just got to go and complete the race. Okay, so that's fine, and I'm not here to suggest that for a lot of people that's not a good avenue, but I am suggesting when you take away the seriousness of the competition, you are limiting the ability of sports to be truly transformational and transcendent inside of your being. You need the challenge, and you need the serious challenge in order to bring about the passion, in order to bring about the caring. Caring deeply about something is a signal of truth. And if I start to care about the results, well, that can be a very deep signal of the truth about myself that I am hurtling towards finding out. Now, I recognize and I respect that this is starting to get a little bit confusing. So, wait, I have to care about the external result seriously in order to validate and confirm the deep internal desire to make something beautiful in the world. Yeah, of course you do. It's got to be beautiful. It can't be a lie. It's got to be filtered through the open heart that demands the truth and doesn't care if it's uncomfortable or if it's harsh or if it stings or if it's hurt or possibly it might even be a mortal wound because it's wide open. It's wide open. So it's difficult to see, right? Actions, they can look the same. You can have two people in a race and they're both hauling it towards the finish line, right? And they both look like, wow, they really care about the results. One person might be in it just for the status, just so they can look to the person to the other side of them and say, ha, I beat you. Now everybody's going to know me as a fast man. Okay. It could also simply be the realization of self, that I demand to bring the best of myself in this moment, and now the present overrides the past, it overrides the future, and there is only this moment. There is only this ability to transcend, to bring forth the best of all the different parts of myself, right? To truly touch that best potential. The ancients, they called it touching the fingertips of the gods, transcending the mortal plane when you experience a moment of athletic perfection. And a moment of athletic perfection is performance. It's breaking a record. It's winning the medal. It's performing excellently. It's taking the competition, the public element of the contest, seriously enough to respect the training, to do the hard work, to care deeply about yourself, to show self-respect, and then to have all those come together in a moment, in a play, in a grand performance. That's why we got to care. That's why it matters. That's why it's meaningful. If I demand a meaningful life, and if sports are a way for me to live that meaning, then the result also has to be meaningful. It's gotta count. You gotta care. Sports hurt. Great. The open heart demands the truth. When you show up to a race or a competition and you really want to do well, this is like one of the most terrifying things. This is the anxiety. This is the butterflies in the stomach. This is the like throwing up in the bathroom before it starts because it means so much. I want it to hurt. I want it to feel like your insides might be kind of like tearing themselves apart because that's the process of the opening of the heart, It should feel like that. Serious competition is an avenue straight towards self-knowledge. When you care about the result, guess what? You're going to know why you care. It's going to be so obvious to yourself that you cannot avoid it. And it's either going to tilt you towards something that's superficial, something that's shallow, something that's externally motivated, or it's going to light you up from the inside. Passion, creativity, achievement, ambition, becoming, excellence from the inside because you love what you're doing and you're engaged in a very serious form of play that is creating order, purpose, orientation inside of you that is allowing you to express and experience passion, creativity, and recognizing that these are the ingredients that lead me to know about myself. So when I care about the competition, I enter into an arena where it becomes possible to know who I am, where it becomes possible to mine for the truth. And if I don't care about the activity, blocked off. Not able to access. Try again Another time, bring back better intention, and then you might be able to get it. All right, I think that's a pretty good little swirl there. I think we did a good job. Let's pat ourselves in the back for getting around it. But again, what does it mean if we can't apply it? What does it mean if we can't live it? Like, what does it mean if you can't take some direct action from this to make your life better? Well, it means I've just talked for 40 minutes to make myself feel good. And I do like to talk. Might not seem like it sometimes for most people, but I host a podcast where I could definitely speak for 2 to 3 hours on my own and feel like I ain't even said anything yet. But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in helping. I'm interested in lighting up that little pilot light inside of your heart and seeing you go for it. And seeing you go for it. In whatever endeavor that is. I love watching my guys on the team, but also my roster clients. I love watching them smash PRs in the physical arena. It's great. And it's consistent. And it's not because I'm the best. It's because the people that call me coach do the work. And they show up for themselves. And the athletic PRs, they're great. They really are. But these are just stepping stones to creating side hustles, to quitting jobs that destroy you, to starting new creative ventures, to taking more of a serious approach to relationships, not just working all the time, going after money, status. That idea that play is and creates order, like it's real. You get these people playing, and you get them playing in their body, and all of a sudden, right, that brand new volume system seems to emerge almost instantaneously out of the action. And when thinking about serious competition, it's one of those things where it really is a right time and a right place. Like, I wasn't somebody who seriously competed in any event until last year, and I've been doing this daily exercise thing for like almost 11 years now. I've been doing the running thing minimum 3 times a week for about 10 years. And I was somebody who didn't want to race. I was a bit afraid of the competition. I was afraid of the truth in terms of, well, if I just practice on my own and post my own Strava times, well, then I can get better against myself, and that's all great. But like, there's still an inadequacy to that. Like, you still want to know, how do I measure up against other people who are also training, who are also serious about the competition, who are also pushing themselves, right? And so the first couple of races I went in, I was not even interested in the performance. I was more interested in community, being with people who I wasn't able to be with, racing with friends, pacing other people, supporting other people. It was never really a thought of mine to go for my own race until last year, when the sage of tribal training, Louis, you're the king, Louis. He put it in my mind that maybe I should go for a big performance in the Backyard Ultra in September of 2024, which I then publicly told everybody, yeah, I'm going to try to win the race. I'm going to go for 100 miles minimum. Like, I'm going to train seriously, and we're going to go hard. And when I tapped out after 21, here, let's go. Let's you know what you want to see? You want to see how this all works? When I tapped out after 21 yards, right? I survived 21 yards, 87 and a half miles. I didn't win. I came 12th. I didn't go 100 miles. I was 12 and a half miles short, right? So I went for it, and it exposed something within me. Now, I thought initially it exposed some logistical problems, but no. After enough time and reflection, I recognized what it really exposed. Spoiler, I'm not going to tell you. I recorded a whole podcast episode on this. So check it out. I forget what number it is, but it's this season. Maybe like 30. It's like the race exposed my mental weakness. I know that that's the title. The race exposed my mental weakness. So it showed me the truth of myself as a competitor. And because I care and I love trail running so much, I was not afraid to be shown something truthful about my performance that wasn't the most flattering. And because I am passionate about trail running, I take it as an opportunity to get better, to improve, to make my performance more beautiful the next time, to create a more authentic expression of who I truly am, as opposed to letting the pressures of the race, push me in one direction or another. Right? Because I cared so much, I was able to locate, not immediately, but, pretty close after the race, few months, oh, shoot, that was the real thing that held me back. And it wasn't necessarily a flattering thing, as I say. It was a mental weakness. It was an absolute mental weakness that other people in the race had. I clearly didn't, and I got exposed. Like the truth was there. Sports hurt. Sports definitely hurt. But I demand the truth. I demand to live by an open heart. I demand to move through it, right? I demand to create experiences and expression that are tied to passion and love and that are evidence of me playing, not being told what to do, just doing what I want to do. So no matter where you are in your journey, if you are just getting back into the gym, if you've been consistent for years and years and years, if you're somebody who is competing, somebody who's thinking about competing, someone who's like, I ain't never going to compete in nothing ever again. We're all different. We're all in different stages. But what's the takeaway? What's the one takeaway that all of us can take? It's that the seriousness of the competition should be embraced. And it should be embraced not so that I can utilize the performance as some sort of an external metric of my self-worth, but I should understand the seriousness of the race or the competition as a mirror. And I should be grateful for what it's going to reveal about me once I get in there, and that the caring is how I see. The caring is how I see the mirror. If I go into a competition and I don't care about the results, and I look at the mirror, nothing going to be there. It's kind of like a magic mirror. Little like Snow White going on here. So in order to unlock the mirror that is going to reveal to me the truth of myself, I need to care. Like caring is the key. And it's the right kind of caring. It's the caring that is powered by internal motivation of passion, dedication, interest, curiosity, imagination. If I have a foundation, and that's how I move through physical activity, then the right competitions will emerge at the right time to provide me with these mirrors. I don't necessarily have to go and force it. I can flow towards it. But I have to get the foundation right. Otherwise, the competition is so powerful, it can obviously and easily tilt me away from these internal motivations. Right? So the takeaway for everybody is embrace the seriousness of competition, but make sure the seriousness comes from inside. So if you are signing up for a race and you now start to really care about like, what are the results going to be? Internal check. Why do I care so much? Is it to bring my best? Is it to beat that guy at the office, by a minute? Because I don't like him and I got to show that I'm better. Like let the fact that you care about this thing move you directly towards the truth about it. Like caring deeply about something is a signal of truth. So care about the result. What does it reveal about you? It just is. Maybe it reveals a superficiality. That's fine. We all have shallowness to us. Maybe it reveals a depth. That's great. Just don't be afraid of what that truth is, and make sure that we all respect the importance of the caring in moving us towards the truth. Right? So whether this is like a formal competition, whether that's you just like going to your next training session and thinking, This is the PR day, and I'm going to really hold myself to it, right? And I'm going to demand the best, and I'm not going to make an excuse, right? Whatever that looks like for you, become serious about the competition. The competition with others, the competition with self, whatever the competition is. Become serious about it. Open yourself up to the truth of what that signal is. And if it's an internal one, take the mirror, incorporate what you get back, and become better, no matter the result. And if you're blocked out from the mirror, think about, shoot, well, how can I get that important internal caring, that passion to unlock the mirror so that I can know more about myself, so that I can know more about myself. Final word. This is practical advice I give every member on the team, in person and digitally, and also to my guys when they're about to go and take on a competition. The race is a celebration. The race is a celebration of self. Okay? Whatever happens during the race, it's a little bit out of your control. When you get to the start line, when you get to the very beginning of the competition, gratitude on your lips. Gratitude for the ability to test yourself. Gratitude for the ability to embrace a challenge. Gratitude to be capable of showing up in so many different ways. We're very lucky just to be able to show up. And then celebrate. And if this is a celebration of self and a place to be grateful for the opportunity to learn, well, don't we owe it to ourselves to go out and give our best and to care about the results? Not because they're a number, but because that is an expression of the best of who I am. Somebody that cares deeply about something that is deeply meaningful. And so there's a bit of a paradox at play, and we should all be paradox respecters. It's like we need the finish line to orient us seriously towards the start line, only to recognize we don't even really need the finish line. What we need is the truth of our effort. But we need the proper boundaries, we need the proper game, we need the proper inbounds in order to play and create that order for ourselves. So go out, give a damn, go hard, learn about yourself, rinse and repeat. Forever. Always be competing, always care about the competition. Just make sure you care about it in the right way that is going to unlock the best parts of yourself rather than closing that part off and feeding some of the worst parts, which is what we tend to see and associate when we look at adults who seriously compete in sports. Let's flip the script. Let's take it back. Let's win with love. Peace.